Good morning. This is the time and place for the zoning case hearing for April 12th, 2017. My name is Milka Toledo, and I will be conducting the hearing as hearing officer. We have one scheduled case for today, and relevant exhibits are posted on the panels located directly behind me. Speaker card. If you wish to speak, please write your name and address on one of the speaker forms which have been provided by the front door and submitted to our planning assistant. I would like to also inform everyone that the official proceedings of the planning hearing officer's hearings are recorded as part of public record. Public notice. Notification of this hearing was accomplished by the use of public notices which are mailed to property owners and tenants located within 500 feet of the subject property, physically posted on the site in question, and placed in the local newspaper. The hearing will proceed as follows. I will read the description of the applicant request. The case planner will make a brief overview of the case, give analysis, and make a recommendation. The applicant will be asked to come forward, stating both name and address, and will be asked to present the case within a 15-minute time limit. Others in support or in opposition to the application and interested parties will be asked to come forward to speak, again, clearly stating both name and address within a 3-minute time limit. Lastly, the applicant will be given the opportunity to make closing comments, if desired, in response to testimonies given by preceding speakers within a 5-minute time limit. The hearing will be closed and the case will be taken under submission or decision may be made. Today we have a conditional use permit, case number PCUP 1700020, located at 1030 South Glendale Avenue, Suite 303. This request is to allow the continued operation of a massage use located, again at the address stated, 1030 South Glendale Avenue, located in the C3 commercial zone, described as Lot 6 and 7, Black and Pratt Tract, portion of Lot 38, Watt Subdivision, and portion of Lot 8, Tract number 1280, subject to the standards listed in the Glendale Municipal Code, Chapter 5.64. The applicant is Harash Misakian. Okay, and then we have our staff here today, which is Dennis Joe, which will be presenting for the case planner assigned to the case. Under the provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30.42 of the Glendale Municipal Code, a conditional use permit shall be granted if the 4 required findings are present. Findings. If the evidence presented in the application and at the hearing meets the required findings, then the hearing officer can either approve or impose conditions for approval on the case in question. If the findings of fact are not evident, then the case will be denied. So at this time, I would like to have the case planner present their case, provide a brief overview of the case, give analysis, and make a recommendation.
Thank you, Ms. Toledo. In short, for my presentation, I'm just going to go into 4 sections here. One's going to be a brief detail about the property, and then a brief background about the specific business, and then to break into staff analysis and conclude with staff's recommendation. So once again, this application for a conditional use permit is to continue a use of a massage establishment. The property is approximately 32,000 square feet in size. It's located on the corner of South Glendale Avenue and East Chevy Chase Drive. The subject site is within the tenant space of the building on the 3rd floor, and the unit space is approximately 494 square feet. The zoning of this property is C3, which is commercial services zone, and the general plan for the site is community services land use designation. Surrounding the property and the zoning for these properties are primarily C3 to the north, south, west, and the project site is also C3. Once again, to the east is R1650, which stands for medium density residential, which consists of existing single family and multifamily use. Going into a brief background on this property, The existing business and operator has been operating this establishment since 1998, which is approximately 20 years. On May 31st of 1998, a conditional use permit was granted for this operator and exact business at this site. In short, a subsequent CUP was not renewed or required. And just briefly going into this, in 2008, a Senate bill prohibited local governments from imposing special zoning and land use requirements for personal services such as massage establishments. Subsequent to that, because there were numerous challenges that were throughout the state for local governments having enforcement difficulties for massage specifically, a state assembly bill and a subsequent Senate bill in 2015 restored for cities and counties with the ability to regulate establishments through special zoning and land use requirements. So hence today the applicant is applying for a conditional use permit to continue the massage use that has been operating for the past 20 years. Going into staff's analysis, the proposed use is consistent, and it will continue to be consistent with the elements and objective of the general plan. Once again, the general plan for this property is community services, which personal services, such as this massage establishment, generally offers a complementary element to the surrounding uses. South Glendale, which is identified as a major arterial in the circulation element, is suitable for this type of use. Open space, recreational, and housing element will not be impacted as a result of this application, as it's going to be continued, and it doesn't require additional open space or recreational for this type of business. It is not anticipated for this to be detrimental to the public health, safety, general welfare, or the environment. The immediate vicinity, especially along Glendale Avenue, is developed with a variety of commercial uses, which includes restaurants, other personal services, retail uses, and a residential neighborhood which is east and abutting to the property. The applicant does not propose any changes to the site, the building, or the unit space. There's existing parking structure which is attached to the building, and there are no windows that face the residential neighborhood, which is, once again, directly east of the property. Adequate facilities are provided. Once again, a parking structure is provided on the subject property that services the subject tenant space as well as the whole entire medical building. The applicant does not include additional floor area and does not propose to intensify the use. As a result, it does not increase the parking demand. Immediately within the vicinity of the subject site, there's a church, one public school, which is Theodore Roosevelt Middle School. The Armenian Church of Nazarene are located approximately a quarter mile away from the site. Neither the police department, neighborhood services had cited major concerns. Just to go briefly over what other departments had commented on this request, where building and safety had just commented that necessary permits for all constructions, but they're not proposing any improvements, shall be applied for and obtained. The premise shall be accessible to city personnel, and it shall comply with state accessibility standards. Neighborhood services had reported that the building, not specifically the operator or the applicant, that's been reported that smoking is occurring within the building, in the hallways, and maybe within other units of the medical building. However, it's not specifically for the specific operator, so it's just kind of an issue that's happening within the entire building. As far as the police department, they provided some standard comments just to obey the health and safety code, general maintenance and operation of the massage business, allow the city personnel such as police, fire, neighborhood services, or even building to have access onto the site if needed, or into the unit if needed. All employees for massage be CAMT certified. And this is a general comment. It's not specifically reported this location, but just in regards to massage itself, it's Any paraphernalia or sexual contact is prohibited. It has nothing to do with specifically the specific operator or its any issues, but it's more of a comment into the nature of the business. This concludes staff's presentation, and I'm just going to break into staff's recommendation. Staff believes all the findings for this request can be made in a positive manner, and therefore recommends approval of this entitlement along with the attached conditions. This concludes staff's presentation. If you have any questions, I'm available.
Okay, so just to reiterate, thank you, Mr. Joe. Police department did not highlight any issues. Neighborhood services had the issues related to smoking within the general context of the building, not specifically for this tenant. Building and safety had general comments, and city attorney's office had general comments.
That's correct.
Correct. Okay, great. At this time, I'm going to open the public portion of the hearing, and I'd like the applicant to please come forward. Garo Nazarian.
Good morning.
Good
My
morning.
name is Garo Nazarian with Domus Design, 109 East Harvard Street, Suite 306 in Glendale. This application is to request the continuation of the massage establishment which has been in business since 1998, as Dennis presented very nicely. This business is located in a very successful and one of the nicest medical buildings in Glendale, and it's operating and managed by the management company. And this massage establishment, it's in the C3 zone, which is a complimentary service to the neighborhood. And this business, I'm not going through all the comments or the findings that Dennis talked about it. If you want, I can.
I'd like to actually have you as the applicant, though, highlight the findings.
Okay.
Please.
This business, this massage establishment, it's in a C3 zone, which is a commercial service for the neighborhood. It's inconsistent with the general plan and various elements of the general plan. The building, it's already built. It won't be have any effect or effect for the neighborhood, and the business is operating fully in compliance with the code, and the business owner has all the necessary certificates from the state and city, federal. This business, it's a one-man operation. It's not just when we are talking about the massage establishment, everybody is thinking that regular massage places, which a lot of concerns about that. This is even Mr. Misakian, it's hesitate to call, but always I'm calling, it's a miracle massage. It's kind of the treatment which it adjusts the body structure, and it helps, to eliminate or even reduce the pains, joint pains or the bone, structure. And it's a one-man operation. It's a kind of the specialized and something that I didn't find anybody in Glendale to do this. We are calling massage, but I'm calling medical massage, which my son was in the high school football team, and he injured his knees and the back. But after having, visiting few doctors, they couldn't do anything. But by visiting Mr. Raj for the 7th or 8th season, he cured him, and it's done. That is kind of the massage that we are calling massage that he's providing. It's a one-man operation, and there is no advertising. Even there is no sign in the building, maybe just on the building, the lobby, they have just a small, that unit 303, Raj Misakian. And he has no any advertising or any sign attached to the windows. The business is on the 3rd floor, and it's just a one operating room, the massage room he has, and then it's the office storage. It's a very small business, and it's a very successful. And actually, it's a nice, good service to the neighborhood and even to the city of Glendale. And I can tell that he's booked for the next year because a lot of people, they go continuously for this, all pains, everything. I did review it, and I want to tell that he complies with all the, codes and requirements. I did review the approval conditions suggested by the planning department. I don't have any problem with any of that. We are complying. Just I have two issues. One is the operating hours, which is 9 to 7. This office, it's operating 8 to 8 because a lot of demand. The people they need. Even I know him for the 20 years. The first time I did prepare these plans and the CUP for him 20 years ago, and he's my friend. But when I call Haraj, I have pain, I have to come to adjust my body, he has no time. Really that 8 to 8 operation is very important. And the second thing, it's suggested this CUP approval for 5 years. A business that it's, this business is in operation for the last 20 years, and there is no violation, nothing. So I would ask if it's possible to extend it to 10 years. That is the regular practice with the businesses with the nice, clean background to issue a 10-year conditional use permit. Other than that, I don't have anything to add. If you have any question, I will be more than happy to answer it.
Thank you, Mr. Nazarian. Some of the questions that I actually have, some you've already answered in terms of, for example, the number of employees.
There is no employee.
There's only
it's a one-man
one
operation.
Operator, okay.
And the business, so sorry to add, it's by appointment only. It's not that the people, they go there, sit there in the waiting room. It's each session, it's a 1 hour. So one person each hour it comes to that.
So a typical appointment would be 1 hour.
Typical appointment, it's 1 hour.
And then the hours of operation, he wants a modification to what we have. However,
no, the one existing.
What is existing is my question.
Existing, it's 8.
It is 8.
It is 8. The suggestion, it's 9 to 7, right?
That's what I saw. That is correct. Condition number 11 does say 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. each day of the week. Is he making the request 8 to 8 for daily?
Daily. Not Sundays.
Except Saturdays.
Except
Okay.
Saturdays.
I'll come to you in a minute,
Yeah.
just a second. Okay, I will ask you that question
Yeah.
because I need to have
Yeah,
it
sure.
clear. And in terms of the clients, maybe I can ask the owner. Okay, thank you, Mr. Nazarian.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to ask the business operator, Mr. Misakian. Hi, state your name and address for the record, please.
Thank you. My name is Haraj Misakian, and my address is 1030 South Glendale Avenue, Suite 303. And I operate in this office for the last 20 years.
Okay.
And, so far I never had any complaint, and everybody try to make everybody as possible I can make them happy and help them in their pain and suffering. That's my agenda or philosophy in life.
Okay. So some of the questions Mr. Nazarian has already responded to. I won't ask you to tell me about your business because I have a pretty good understanding of how you operate so far.
Yes.
You have your typical appointment is approximately an hour by appointment based
Yes.
only.
Yes.
So there's no walk-in.
No, I don't have.
Okay.
And even I have my rest time, which is 2 to 4. I have to rest,
And
It's hard work.
referrals and I'm
All
assuming
referrals.
doctors.
Yeah. I'll take care of Garo. Garo is happy.
Okay.
He can send someone. Something like only recommendations, yeah.
Okay. And in terms of let's go back to the hours of operation. So currently your operating hours are 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Yes. Having 2 hours rest time, which is very important for me, 2 to 4.
So you're closed from 2
I
to
don't
4.
close. I just leave the door open, but I eat my lunch and meditate, 1 hour,
Okay.
3 to 4 every day.
2 to 4, so
Yes.
approximately 2 hours.
2 hours, yes.
And so basically what that means is you don't have any appointments at that time.
No, never.
So in terms of the operating hours, you mentioned daily or Saturday exclusion?
Monday to Friday, Saturdays, 8 to 5.
So Monday through Friday,
Yes.
8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yes. Saturdays, exceptionally, 8 to 5.
Saturday, 8 to 5
And
p.m.
of course, Sundays I rest. That's my resting.
And closed on Sunday.
Closed on Sunday. And the building is closed also.
And in terms of the years that you want this request for,
Can it
we
be,
have a 5-year, and that's typical of what we have
can it
for.
be 10? I request 10. Because last time it was 10 years old, 10 years that you grant me, and I was very pleased. And I think it's fair. I deserve, because this is like a renewal for me, but, there is no renewal. Yeah. Existing thing. Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to add at this time? I have no other questions.
I will thank City of Glendale to give me this opportunity of lifetime. And always I dreamed from my childhood that to become, this kind of massage therapist that wants to heal or help people to get rid of their pains and sufferings. I will thank you for that.
Okay.
To give me this opportunity.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'd like the applicant to please come forward to the podium. And once again, Mr. Nazarian, just to reiterate, you've read the conditions. You're fine with all the conditions. In the staff report, with the exception of condition number 11 and number 12, the operating hours
Correct.
and the validity of 5 years,
length
you'd like
of
to
the
have it
validity.
extended to 10. Okay. Also, we'd like to include a condition regarding the smoking as well, just so that every business is in compliance with the
Yes.
fresh
Then
air
every
ordinance.
business, that condition will apply to his businesses. He's not responsible to the, but the usual, it's a medical office. Nobody smokes there in the corridors or in the toilets.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nazar.
Thank you.
What I'd like to do then is I'd like to take this case under submission, and I'll prepare a letter in writing. Okay? So after the hearing, the decision will be prepared in writing and will be in the form of a letter sent to the applicant and to all persons who responded to the public notice, either by speaking at this hearing or by submitting written responses and have provided their name and mailing address. The date of the decision will be the date appearing on the letter. Under the appeal provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30.62 of the Glendale Municipal Code, the decision may be appealed to the Planning Commission within 15 days of the date of the decision. Anyone wishing to appeal may obtain forms and brochures on the procedures from Building and Safety Section Permit Services Center located on the same floor of this building. And at this time, I would like to officially close the hearing. And thank you for coming. The date is April 12th, 2017, and it is approximately 9:57. Thank you.